Link, I have witnessed your journey. You have overcome every challenge laid before you. Ruta, Rudania, Meadow, Naboris. All of the divine beasts are now free. With the strength you have attained, I am certain you can unlock the powerful force hidden within. Go to the Shrine of Resurrection and return the Sheikah Slate to its terminal.
Hello, Zagir to you, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Today, we're going to finally start the second part of the expansion pack, the Champions Ballad. To get this started, you need to finish all the divine beasts across the land. You'll receive a message from Zelda that we saw a moment ago, telling you to go back to the Shrine of Resurrection. Sheikah Slate Champion verification complete. Oh no, polka dots! Ah, my worst nightmare! Associated locations have been marked on the map. Take hold of the provided weapon to begin the trial. The weapon stash is full because of course it is. Bye, Baco Club. We'll miss you at first. I am Maz Koshia. I now address the one who wishes to master a divine beast. To undertake this task requires unwavering dedication. That weapon defeats foes with one hit. However, the reverse is also true, as its wielder will fall to a single hit. You can use this weapon ability only twice within a set period of time, only when it is glowing. When enough time passes, the weapon will regain its sheen along with its power. At the 4 marked locations within the Great Plateau, defeat all enemies present to prove your power. If you are not up to the challenge, leave this plateau. The weapon will return here and the trial will end. One hit obliterator. I was really hoping this would be an item in Smash Bros. Ultimate, but it wasn't. There's kind of items like it, but it's not quite the same. But anyway, yeah, this thing's awesome. After we clear up our photo gallery, let's take a selfie with the one-hit obliterator! Yippee! Man, like, selfie modes are pretty awesome in games, but nothing will ever beat the Wind Waker HD. Just all those dumb faces they can make in that game were just so great. I hope they bring that back to that degree in a future Zelda game. Like, the selfie mode in this game is fine and all, but it doesn't top Wind Waker. But, with that being said, our first challenge of Champions Ballad takes place in the place where it all began all that time ago. These 4 challenges can be taken care of at any point in time. They're going to take a little bit, so this will be taken care of over the course of this episode and the next one on the playlist. But the first one will be taken care of. Because when we around this little tree area thingy, that's called a forest, I guarantee you. Sometimes I forget simple words. Don't mind me, I'm not the sharpest knife in the place where they keep the knives. I was supposed to get the reference. Anyway, so yeah. You can see that we'll eat as much food as we can, but no matter how much we eat, it goes back to a quarter heart. As long as we hold on to the one-hit obliterator, that's the only thing of health we can possibly have, no matter what potions we have or whatever. And during this challenge, we can't get rid of this thing, so we're currently stuck wielding super awesome power. But yeah, we still use our bomb arrows though, which is pretty cool, as you saw right there. It's just so satisfying using the bomb arrows against a flock of keys. It's awesome. Would that be the proper terminology for a group of keys like that? Because now like a group of crows is called a murder. So would it be like a murder of keys? Or they're more like bats and birds? I don't care. Inventory is full. How sad. I'm a sad, sad burger. So something I want to get out of the way real quick as we go across this place. So you may notice that the audio quality may seem a little different than usual. That's because I'm doing post-commentary. I recorded this entire video with live commentary, and I was really happy with it. I was so excited to edit this video. And then I saw, after that I was done recording, that my microphone application on my computer, it crashed when it was rendering. So none of it was usable. So I was like, okay, that's unfortunate. I've already finished the next recording session, so I can't easily go back, so I guess I'm stuck doing post-commentary now. But it's fine, it's fine. All my years of video making experience has prepared me for this moment. If this was like 10 years ago, I'd been terrified of doing like a post-commentary episode for an hour or whatever. But you know what? Who cares? I have experience now. Ha 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 ha. So, I will say, over the course of the entirety of the Champions Ballad, I will say, kind of like the main game itself, the Champions Ballad has a bit of a reverse difficulty curve where the very beginning of it can be kind of ruthless if you're unprepared for it. Like if it's your first time playing through it, it's gonna be a bit much, I'll say. It gets easier as it goes on, but the beginning of the Champions Ballad definitely is the hardest part. Like as it is, this part right here, the Baka Balloons, it took me like 5 attempts to get through it when I was doing this with live commentary. The shrine looks taller! Yowaka Ita Shrine. That's a fun name, Yowaka. That's very satisfying. That rolls off the tongue in a very satisfying way. Yowaka. Oh my god, it's absolutely terrible. You know Fozzie Bear on the Muppets? I'm imagining that's how he would say like a Yo Mama joke. Like, Yowaka's so fat, she could eat the internet for breakfast and have room for seconds. To use its food in the shrine, I'm Yowaka Ita. In the name of the goddess Adium, I offer this trial. Collected Soul, one of the best Pixar movies of all time. Say what you will about Yo Mama jokes, like, most of them are not funny. They're very stupid. But my absolute favorite one of all time goes something along the lines of, Yo Mama's so stupid, she got fired from the M&M factory for throwing out the W's. It's just so dumb. Okay, actually, that and another one. I don't know how many people watching this video know the show Gallivant. It was on ABC like 10 plus years ago. It premiered during an in-between part for Once Upon a Time. It like took up that time slot on TV. But it was this very, very dorky medieval show. So if you like Monty Python or Rabbit and Men in Tights or things like that, this definitely has like the same like comedy style. But there's one point where it's a jousting episode. Gallivant and some other guy are in a jousting competition. The other guy does a Yo Mama joke, and they go back and forth for a bit, and Gallivant's all like, it's the 14th century. Those Yo Mama jokes are getting really old. Well, so is Yo Mama. It's just so stupid. It is so stupid. It's not even that good of a joke, but it makes me giggle every time I think about it. But anyway, yeah, this puzzle. So what we want to do, we have a Twizer chest over here we can open with our fist. Bomb arrow times 10. That was a 5, not a 10. I can't read apparently. So, Yeah, what we want to do, we want to use the super awesome powers of magnesis to catch the falling orbs and use them to accomplish our destiny. The only ones that are going to work are the shiny ones. If you try catching the other ones and then bring them over here, they're just going to keep spawning the rock ones over and over again. I bumped my microphone, I apologize. I know this for a fact because when I first played this, I was like, oh, okay, we just got to get the rock ones out of the way. Nope, you only need to catch the shiny ones. Shiny teeth, me, shiny teeth, shiny teeth. Treasure shiny! Shiny. Your inventory is full. So as we go across this area, I'm going to talk a little bit about something that happened recently in between recording episodes. So, yeah, the Switch 2 came out. The Switch 2 is a thing now, and that's kind of interesting. So, I want to talk a little bit about that because it is going to be having a bit of an impact on the Let's Play going forward. I'm going to straight up say right now that we're going to continue using the Switch 1 version of this game for the Let's Play for a couple of reasons. We're already this far into it. It seemed a little weird to have the last 20, 30 plus episodes of the Let's Play only using a Switch 2 version. So I feel like for consistency's sake, it'll just be better to just use the Switch 1 version for the Let's Play. But the other reason is that the profile that I'm using for this video, like I use like a separate Switch profile for recording my Let's Plays and things like that. I recently thought about retiring that idea because it kind of doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do that. Because, I don't know, I used to do that because I couldn't figure out how to turn off friend notifications on the Switch. But during our Batman Arkham Asylum, I used my regular profile for that one, and it led to some funny moments, so I'm thinking, you know what, it might actually be more fun. Anyway, that's not the point. The point right now is that the profile for this Let's Play doesn't have the Switch 2 upgrade because it's not connected to NSO. The Switch 2 edition expansion you only get it for free if it's on NSO. Otherwise, it's like a $10 fee or whatever to upgrade, which is very, very silly. But we'll talk about that more in a second because we have some dead guy to talk to. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. ... In the name of Goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you the Spirit Orb. May the Goddess smile upon you. And he didn't even thank us for not skipping his dialogue. That jerk. So going back to Switch 2 Edition. So I've been thinking about this. What my current mindset is that we are going to showcase the Switch 2 Edition at some point in the future. It's not going to be like a big grand thing that's going to take like 10 plus episodes to take care of. It's probably just going to be like a side topic for one of the last episodes of Let's Play. Because I am planning to do something like that for the Wii U version as well. So my current mindset is that it's going to be like a segment we'll talk about. But I do want to bring up a little bit here because it is kind of cool. I wasn't expecting much about the Switch 2 Edition. They didn't add a whole lot of features. They just made it run smoother. I think it's a little bit sharper as well. And on the NSO app, they add Zelda notes where you can go across Hyrule and Zelda will teach you things about the world and things like that. It's pretty interesting. They talk about... Well, going to Tears of the Kingdom for a moment, they talk a little bit about, like, Riju's new haircut in that game, like, why she cut her hair, and it's actually pretty fascinating. So, there's a couple of things like that here and there that are pretty cool. I don't entirely know if I'll demonstrate all of them, because there's a lot of them, so I don't know how much time that would take. But I will say, playing this game on Switch 2 at 60 frames a second, like, I usually don't care about frame rate. My favorite game of all time is Link's Awakening, and that thing runs like 20 frames per second. I don't really know, I don't care. But seeing this game running at 60 FPS was kind of mind-blowing, honestly, because this is a 30 FPS game, and most people don't care about it being running the smoothest or whatever, aside from in the forest areas, because the game itself is pretty fun. But seeing a game of this scale, even in the forest areas that's still running at 60 FPS, it was truly, truly interesting to see. It's not like a big grand moment like, oh my god, this is a whole new console, this is amazing. It wasn't like that kind of moment like holding the Wii Remote for the first time, or like playing Breath of the Wild portably with the Switch 1. But it was still pretty interesting to see that. I got that moment with Mario Kart World instead, because like this giant open world karting game, I playing that portably and still looking like super gorgeous and things like that. That was pretty cool. I'm excited for the Switch 2 in general. I will say, it's kind of getting off on a bit of a rough note, honestly, because, like, to put it into context, at this point in Switch 1's lifespan, we already knew about things like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild. Like, we had a 3D Mario and a 3D Zelda within the same launch year for Switch 1. But for Switch 2, we just don't know a whole lot right now. Like, yeah, in the first couple of months, it has a brand new Mario Kart and a 3D Donkey Kong game. But I don't feel like that's as exciting as a 3D Mario and a 3D Zelda within the same year. Now, it is entirely possible we could get a Nintendo Direct soon. I'm kind of hoping that we'll get one by the time this video comes out, so this topic will be a little bit outdated, because I think that'd be funny. But as it is, we just don't really know that much about what's coming from Switch 2, and that's admittedly a little concerning. Again, I'm hoping this is outdated soon, because like there's definitely a lot of stuff they're working on for Switch 2. Like, I'm convinced that within the next couple years or so, we're probably going to get the next Animal Crossing at some point. I don't think we're going to see Smash Brothers for a long time, because Masaru Sakurai is working on Kirby Air Riders, and even if he was working on Smash Brothers as the next game, that means that we're not going to get into like 2028 at the absolute earliest. But yeah, like I still have hopes for some major Switch 2 games coming out soon. The Guardian. It's very nice of the Guardian to wait to fire the laser at us until after the cutscene's over. Thinking about the Guardians and thinking back on the Zelda notes made me think about what their explanation for why there aren't any Guardians in Tears of the Kingdom. That's a topic for another day. It's not a pleasant topic for another day, but it'll probably happen at some point. To you, that's from this shrine. I am Rata Chica. In the name of the goddess Hylium, I offer this trial. Stop to start. Bop it to start. Pull it. Bop it. Twist it. Pull it. Twist it. Pop it. That's what I thought when I first saw this name, Stop to Start. I don't know why, but it made me think about Pop It. Oh man, I want to get one of those again so bad. I recently got a Slinky toy for my computer desk when I'm working on stuff. Like, I'll just play with the Slinky as I'm waiting for something to finish processing when I'm editing videos and things like that. It's honestly one of the best things ever. Anyway, our first treasure chest within this shrine is going to be located off in the corner over here. Easiest way you can get over there is by using this block to climb and stuff. Be super duper careful going across this area though, because it's going to have spikes everywhere. And spikes, they generally usually hurt. I don't know if you guys know this fun fact, but spikes usually, they hurt people when it comes to human contact. So that's probably something you don't want to do too much. And that was here to use Words of Wisdom. I could put like a fancy graphic on screen for that, but I don't feel like it. I don't feel like that. So going back down over in this direction. Yeah, this looks a lot more dangerous than it actually is. Just be careful. Just walk the way. You don't have to do anything fancy over here. I will say this probably is my favorite of the two shrines we've seen so far. The other one was pretty alright, but this one I felt like was a lot more intimidating to look at in the first playthrough. So, yeah, and this one right here. This part right here, it took me a little bit to go through when I was playing through this for the live commentary thing, and they got ruined because the microphone sucks. But yeah, you can use your stasis to freeze the spiky balls of death. And then you can fall to your death. Yay! Back into this area. Using our super amazing powers of Stasis Plus, I recommend you use the one that's like on the ball the furthest away because it's easier to time yourself with just the first two. So using the Stasis on the third one's a pretty good strategy. I've always been tempted to try to do this without using Stasis at all, but admittedly I'm a bit too chicken for that. Yeah, you see how slow it's going? This is not challenging at all. It's just that thread of the spiky wall behind you, not seeing it. Like, honestly, it's probably a lot more challenging to have this, like, face this direction with the camera and then go backwards from here. But, I don't know, this is not that challenging at all. I did struggle with it a little bit because I was an idiot and I kept running into the spikes, but honestly, it's not that bad. This shrine's pretty alright. Your resourcefulness in overcoming this trial speaks to the promise of a hero. In the name of Goddess Hylia, I bestow upon you the Spirit Orb. May the Goddess smile upon you.